NBC6 HD.
Not everything about the holidays is always easy, especially when it comes to dealing with divorced parents and their children. Joining us this morning is attorney Barry Finkel with some tips on how to make the whole process a whole lot easier. Now, when the holidays get here, it's like, who gets the kids? Is that something that should be spelled out in the divorce decree? Generally, yes. If you're going through a divorce or you're already divorced, make sure that the agreement spells out who's going to have time sharing during the holidays. For example, over Thanksgiving, the holiday time period usually begins the day school lets out before the holiday until school resumes, usually on Monday morning. What we normally do is give one parent the holiday in the odd years and the other parent in the even years. Over the Christmas break, which is a much longer holiday, we usually split the holiday, so one parent may have the first half of the holiday in odd years and the second half of the holiday in even years. And I bet if it's not spelled out, that really could get ugly and just spoil the whole holiday. And it spoils the holiday for everybody, but most importantly the children. That's one of the most frequent areas of dispute, and it's very unavoidable. You know, with good planning, you can avoid that and not ruin the holiday for the children, because the worst thing for them is to be involved in a battle between the parents as to which day they're supposed to be with their parents. The father may want them on Sunday, and the mother may dispute that, and it ruins the holiday for them. And it's totally avoidable. And with good planning, you can resolve those issues in your divorce agreement. So if you don't have that in your agreement, call your lawyer. Make sure he calls your spouse's lawyer and tries to work out a holiday time sharing schedule in advance. Should the kids have a say in it? I guess it depends on the age of the children. Generally, when the children are younger, the answer is no. But you always want to accommodate the children's schedules. If you have children that are involved in sports and there may be some sporting activities, you certainly want to work around those activities. What if it does get contentious over the holidays? Would you advise your client just to kind of relent, or do you fight it out? Well, you always want to be flexible, and you always want to avoid conflict. It's never a good idea to have battles and fighting, and the way that the court dockets are these days, they're so crowded. It's very difficult to get time in front of a judge, so you just have to try to work it out. And avoiding conflict is better than anything. Okay. And as you try and work out those days, what are some of the other factors that should go into as to who gets who when? Well, you want to just make sure that, for example, if there's extended family in town for one parent, try to work it out so that your children have time to spend time with the other family. And then also sometimes it ends up that, someone has to travel if they're not in the same town. All that should be written out in the decree as well? Yes. Obviously, if there's time sharing, you want to be out of town, make sure that's all written out. The more planning you have, the better. Sometimes the agreements can be very, very long with regard to these things, and the more detailed it is, the better it is. And for example, if you have a document in place, but at some point you want to change it, is that something that can be done? Very difficult. You have to show a substantial change of circumstances if the parties don't agree. That's a very difficult thing to do. But yes, you have a right to modify those things in court, but that becomes a very, very expensive proposition as well. All right, okay. Well, we thank you so much for coming in today, and hopefully everybody will have a happy holiday and won't call you on Thanksgiving with a problem that gets solved. It's a pleasure to be back here again. Thank you. Yes, we hope to see you again. Well, if you have any questions for Barry, attorney Barry Finkel, you can give him a call at 954-776-1414, or check out his website. You can go to bffinkelpa.com. Natalie, over to you.